you might. Too much, 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 too many crabs in a barrel, but I'd rather hang around family and battle. Too much, too many dripping in sauce, and I ain't hating on nobody, they can get lost. It's too much, trying to help a nigga out, the only thing they care about is internet cloud. It's too much, niggas sounding like each other and they all dead wrong, they don't even get along. Too much, you might. 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 Too much drip, you might slip. 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 Too much.
You see, baby, I don't do this just for the recognition. I do it for the children.
Up in the way, cause I don't play clown. Take that with you on the way down. Up in the way, cause I don't play clown. Take that with you on the way down.
I've been in this game for years. It made me an animal.
And what I'm trying to explain to you, ladies and gentlemen, is the real world that our children live in, not the ideal one that we want them to live in, not this wonderful world that we pray that will come here one day, but the real world that they have to live in. You want to know why they're acting so crazy? You want to know why they're doing the things that they're doing? Because we have not prepared them to live in this real world. We have sent them through 12 years of school teaching them this dumb stuff that doesn't work, and when they go out and try to apply it and get killed for it, we are not there.
Me an animal. I eat a fake motherfucker like a cannibal. And I don't even understand how he got that far. Cause every time he write a rhyme, it's about his goddamn car. You know the top 10 hottest in the fucking game? Well, 8 of them niggas fucking lame. It's a fucking shame how y'all put them on a pedestal. But I figure you ain't got nothing better to do.
Better to do.
Shame. 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 Shame.
How y'all doing? Welcome. Another Sunday with Mrs.SheSaid, the Shame Sunday Shameless Society. Goodness gracious. How y'all doing? Welcome. Give y'all a second to pull up and pop in. It's going to be a lot of information given. We're going to give some info today because we have shout out to you for popping in. Y'all know I appreciate that. Got my hubby, Mr. He Said, on the ones and twos. Best moderator in town. But we here. I hope y'all are ready and prepared for the holidays. Happy holidays to everyone who celebrates. Give some shout outs to my people pulling up and popping in. I see y'all. What's good? So at the top, I added some links. There's a lot of links you can click on. There's some information in here. Links for homeschool, or if you just want extra outlets for your children to occupy their time while learning lessons, and you can keep track. Some are free and some are not. Some give some free subscriptions, so utilize it. Check it out. See if it's something that you would like to incorporate into your child's day. It's very important. Alexander's in the building. Please share the stream with anyone you think may appreciate the information, because moving forward, there will be a large increase of homeschool families and parents. So, there's a lot of information that one may need. Because it's kind of scary jumping in, especially if you have the public school mindset and structure in mind, that is what you're going to be utilizing your day as. You're going to have to erase that because it's quite different. And you make the day. Paris Dunbar's in the building. Welcome. Appreciate you pulling up and popping in. So this is for future young people too. You know, in the future, you have to consider what you're going to do with your children when it's time for them to go to school, you know, because that's the script that America give us. You know, by 5, they need to be in kindergarten. So it's up to us to thrust them into that or continue to educate them from home because it starts at home. So from birth to 5, you should be educating your children. Red is in the building. Red Lipstick Vibe is in the building. My sister's in the building. Take heed to the messages in the building. Welcome, y'all. I appreciate the lionesses pulling up and popping in. Sister Sarah is in the building. Another lioness is pulling up. Air Dialogue is in the building. My brother AR is in the building. Please like, share the stream with anyone you think would appreciate it. Because it's a lot of information out here and it's different from state to state. So saving the children begins at home. It absolutely begins at home. And it's something that we really need to push on to the younger generation. Because, you know, like me, the first thing we want to do after we have our children is thrust ourselves back into work. We only get 6 weeks of maternity leave. You know, here in this country, men don't have paternity leave, but it's absolutely a thing in other nations, and it's respected, and it's more than 6 weeks. Dr. Nkumbe is in the building. Appreciate you pulling up and popping in. So, red lipsticks, I love IXL. My son loves it, yes. Oh, so many great resources online now that we have this technology. You wouldn't believe how much information is out there and how much is free. But when you're dealing state to state and you choose to homeschool your child, you may have to pay for one of the resources just to have the access to transcripts, all of the curriculum that your state particularly has designated and required, because there's a lot of requirements. And the state wants to know that the children are learning these things. Again, you decide, though. You decide what you want to educate them with. So there's a lot of curriculum out there. We chose to use Time for Learning, for short T4L. And it's very popular now. I got the link up there. And refer a friend, of course, you would get a discount price. So let me know. Yeah, have a look at it. They give you a lot of tutorials on how to access these things. Children graduate from homeschool successfully. The statistics, the rumors you would hear, the shame that homeschool parents get that, you know, the children are not being educated properly. They're going to miss out on the social skills and the, you know, what we call the indoctrination. But what others would call it would be hidden curriculum. So it's a hidden curriculum, which they include social skills and teamwork as far as the school goes. But I don't believe our children are getting that much of that. They're being trained like robots, you know, to just follow along, get along, and everybody gets trophy. And yeah, saving the children, it begins at home. So we're going to shed some light on homeschool because it's absolutely on the rise. The increase is amazing, especially since the pandemic. And I would say the younger of the children have been chosen to be home because a lot of us grew up in the system, right? We all grew up in it. Most of us went to school, public school, Catholic school, somebody, you know? So we understand the different transitions of school, kindergarten, first grade, you know, graduating from elementary school to middle school to high school, the same shit. So when you have gone through almost 30 years of watching this, I'm 46, almost 47. So nieces and nephews are 30s and, you know, our children 28, 23, 18, and 9. So, you know, watching their plight the whole time has been something quite unique because I remember my school years very vividly, like it was yesterday, as well as my brothers. The struggles they went through, the labels that could have been put on them, but they really didn't exist then, the ADD, the ADHD, the ODD, all this other things they want to label the children. But we as parents, we need to start utilizing the information here, especially when we choose to start having children, because there are stages of development that you need to be aware of so you can utilize your time as well as your children's time to get them there, to help them grow and develop, because it's a constant, consistent thing. And when you thrust them off into school, they have 6.5, maybe 7 hours of lack of parental guidance. You know what's valued and what's important, and we know the school don't give. We know this. So people are really considering and really doing a great job doing the homeschool. But of course, you have some slackers, just like the people who send their children to public school and don't, pay attention to what's going on. The kid is damn near graduating, and the parent doesn't realize that the child has been failing, and all these other concerns. If you guys have been watching me all year, take a peek, because parents have not been on their job, being responsible. So when we hand them over to the school, it takes away your duty and responsibility. It's showing, because children are graduating and they're still on a 7th grade literacy level. And we have to show, some concern for the parents, like, what's going on with y'all? You need to be more present with what's happening with your children. And a lot of us live in la-la fucking land. Really. Fantasy Island. We parade our children around like dolls, not realizing they are going to grow up. They're growing up to be adults, and the shit happens quickly. This year went by so fast. So much has happened in 1 year. So with our children, there's always a reflection. Every year, every holiday, every birthday, it's always self-reflection going on. Because I need them to continue that as they grow and develop, as they get older. Just the fact of having my mother here. We don't have a large matriarch and patriarch, grandpas and grandmas and great this. And we don't have that. We have a matriarch. One. She's not an old lady. She's not that much older than us. Shout out to Mom Dukes. And my brother, my husband's brother. It's only 2. So we have to set a very transparent example for them on how we move and how we utilize our time. Because we can't preach one thing and move a different way. They're watching. They pay a lot of attention to you. Alex is in the building. What you say? Right. Like, they don't realize they're failing until they're failing. Like, come on. How did this fall past both of us? How did it pass you? How do you not know? There was a time when you come home from school, everybody has to sit down at the table, no electronics. Well, we didn't have electronics, so you couldn't turn that TV on. Homework needs to be done, and you need to show and prove that the homework was done. And when it came to math, you need to have scrap paper and show that the work was done. Because the teachers didn't play when we was coming up. No calculator. Where's your homework? Okay, you got the answers here. Where's the scrap paper? Where's the scrap work? You had to get to that answer. There's only one genius in a whole grade level, who could do the shit in their head. So shout out to you, because some of y'all are out there. You better make friends with them nerds. They're very smart. Got a lot of information that they can share with you. But we're so shallow. We're such a shameless society. We ignore, we bully particular type of people. And then they grow up to be the successful ones,
Shameful shit.
The people who stay out of trouble, don't look for trouble. They know it's about progress, knowledge, wisdom, and learning to understand. And showing some temperance. Society absolutely lacks it. So here we like to give some information, give a little reflection of some shameful, some foolish, some wrong behavior. Because the children are watching. I care more about the children than I care about you grown-ass adults. You guys are going to do what the hell you want to do. But I'm going to keep pointing out that them children are watching, and you're failing them. You're failing them. So homeschool is on the rise, because a lot of us don't want our children around your fucking children. And we have to make them aware that you guys exist. So that means we need to be present. We need to watch and see what the fuck is going on out here. Because motherfuckers is acting like fools. They're acting like fools. Just like when our 23-year-old was growing up, I used to peek at the Love and Hip Hops and shit and occasionally have her come in and look and say, look at this shit. This is not us. We all don't behave like that. Don't grow up and be a hair hat hooligan. Shout out to Tommy Sotomayor. I said, ooh, okay. So we here. I'm going to give y'all a little information today and share with someone you know who is trying to incorporate homeschool, who is considering it. Because even when we were considering it when our children were little, I got shamed. Shame on you. For real. Why are your kids so smart? Why they talk like that? By their own family. Y'all sound white. Why you talk like that? Are you kidding me? Same cycles repeated, same shit. Sometimes you got to pull away. Point it out, that shit ain't okay, don't do that. But we get around family and we don't speak up. It's a lot of a lack of accountability and pointing out shameful, foolish behaviors and attitudes and mindsets. We're not going to keep repeating it. We don't repeat cycles over here of foolishness. She said. That's the type of shit we need to point out to our kids. We're not repeating that. They show up on graduation day and act a fucking fool. Act a fool. That type of stuff we need to stop. Shout out to everybody pulling up, popping in. Information man is in the building. Mona D is in the building. Mother Lioness. Pointing out the foolery and the fuckery. Anytime y'all hear somebody say, ain't no shame, ain't no ladies out here, y'all need to be pointing out these ladies. Some of y'all need to be pointing out these ladies that they have platforms and they talking about the shit that shouldn't be repeated. The foolishness, the fuckery. The cantankerous mentality.
Not on my watch.
The straight up disrespect to men. Pulling up in y'all spaces being straight up disrespectful. Stop allowing them there. I don't understand it. I've been watching for 2 years and I always say it. It could be a panel of 10 men. Why is it one woman up there? Y'all allow it. So shout out to y'all. You get what you get.
Bing bang.
Don't make no sense. It's a lot of resources at the top. Click the link. Check it out. Do your duty as an elder, as a parent, on what's good and quality for your children, okay? Because it's your responsibility. It's your duty. We hand it over so easily to the government and then complain when they're not smart enough. I sent them to school. School starts at home. It begins at home. There's different ways to do it in each state, okay? So there's an umbrella or a cover school, and some will provide approved, and they'll oversee the homeschool program, right? So you have a school that you can take them to. You can have a school a co-op that will offer up the curriculum. You may have to pay for that. And you can provide a portfolio, which is something we decided to do. We take our child's curriculum on our own. We decide what they learn as long as they get the required curriculum that the state requires. It's good. It's all good. They may offer some distant learning that can be used for one subject or as a complete curriculum. One parent can't utilize another parent as a homeschool resource. It will not be accepted in this state, in Maryland. So being that we have this, we provide it all. So we choose a certain program set up, Time for Learning. It gives us the state required curriculum. And it pretty much goes how the state goes. So you have to add more resources. I've noticed we've been there first grade. We took over first grade. So she's in fourth grade now. And it was hard. It was hard to switch over and change even that young because we have a mindset of public school, and how the setting is. You get up at a set time, you got to have this and grading that and the pressure. You got to know this by then, and it's too much pressure. And if you have multiple children, you have to, regulate their age group, and how they learn, their particular learning style. And as the parent, you're the one who knows best, right? Mona D. Facts. Your home is the child's first school. Relying on the government means your child is already behind. I mean, it's something that's kind of programmed. We've all been programmed. Once public school has been implemented and we've had access to it as a nation, it's like once you have a child, I can't wait till they kindergarten and they go to school. Like it is a desire for us, or even once you have the child, the rush, the need to go back to work after 6 weeks, 9 weeks, maybe 2 months if you have, vacation time and all this other stuff. And especially when you're young, you have to. Both people have to go back to work. Daycare is quite expensive. So 18 years ago, we had to consider the amount of money that I'm making and the amount of money that I would be dishing out for 2 children to go to daycare, before, after care, just to be able to run to this job and punch a clock and work for them and give all my time and all my hard energy while depending on and relying on someone else to secure my child and educate them the way that we saw fit. And the safety factor. So a lot of those things needed to be considered. And I think we made the best choice for me to have the access to be home. There was times I had to jump back in, was able to have some wiggle room and work a little bit. But it has been a blessing. It has been a blessing. And to have our older children look at Madison and say, they wish they would have went through homeschool versus going to school and dealing with the bullshit out there, because they understood that most of the learning came from home. The school just kind of enforced what we learned here. We gave them on a great trajectory from the start. You send your children off to school already capable of writing their name, knowing the letters, and then all the basic shit of kindergarten, knowing how to read. It's possible. You're capable of doing that with your children. So by the time they're in kindergarten, they already know how to read. Most of those kids have to learn while in there. So it's a plus, it's a bonus. You kind of set them on a trajectory for hunger and a desire, to want to learn. And you're teaching them that there's a certain regulation, there's a requirement on how to behave in school because they've learned that from home. It's a straight school setting in here. So you can present this type of environment for them so they can have more success if you decide to send them off to public school when it's time. 5, they're very young. And they'll learn a lot from other children that you do not desire. Behaviors, attitudes, mimicking things. That you'd be like, where you get that from? Yeah, they got it from school. Picked it up from a teacher they admired. Yeah. So all these things you have to be mindful of, in consideration. And our society is so shameless, we have to consider the value, the standards, responsibility that they need to learn from home. Mr. He Said chimed in, I make everything a lesson. They don't always like it, but everything's a lesson. And that was from when they was little. So as they get older, it's still always lessons. We had a lesson yesterday. We had a lesson yesterday. It was awesome. All the Harris ladies hopped in the car to take the matriarch to the airport, get her home safely from visiting with us, and had a nice nail puncture our tire. I see the little tire light thing come on. So, what's going on here? So it shows us the PSIs, and that back left tire was going down quickly. I said, oh, this is not good. What happened? So it's still rolling good. We may be at 1.5 miles from the airport. We get there. I said, yeah, I'm not going to stop on the edge of this road. We're going to at least get her to the airport so she don't miss her flight. Of course, we 2 hours early. Mommy don't play, right? So yeah, they had to get a lesson on changing a tire. So it was a good lesson. Mommy had to teach him. A full-on woman taught the younger generation how to change the tire. And the matriarch, she was a trained mechanic, so she's assisting and dictating. Make sure she got the gloves, like she was not playing. You might have to step on it, but luckily the nuts weren't as tight where I needed to step and do all that stuff. So it was pretty strong. Got them off, switched the tire, hop right back in the car. We made it home. So shout out to hubby for shout out to hubby for getting up this morning and making sure that tire gets taken care of so we can continue to roll. But yeah, it's always something, and you never know when something's going to happen. So they saw how it gets done and that we can get it done. We had a couple of gentlemen, so shout out to the gentleman at the airport who offered to help, but we was good. So, y'all all appreciate it. Thank you for noticing that the ladies needed some help. So there are men who do like to come and help ladies who need some assistance. So make sure you guys get them some kindness and be respectful. Man, Drell's in the building. Shout out to you, brother. Pull up and popping in. The Wife School podcast is in the building. Saving the children begins at home. It's been a great increase on homeschooling. Families are taking the education of their children very seriously, their safety very seriously, and considering to sacrifice some things, to be more frugal, so that it can be done. And there's a lot of parents who work from home. So something you as well can consider. Red chimed in. She said, even for us, every day brings new lessons. Absolutely. That's one thing you need to know as a growing individual. It's always something you can learn. That motto, yes, we learn something new every day. You should. Would be good. But if you sit around and do the same shit the same way, you won't. And that goes for our damn children. They coming up as idiots. Idiots. They don't know how to follow rules. They can't take no goddamn correction, even from the elders in their family, people who take care of them, who pay for that motherfucking phone. And y'all allow it. Shame on y'all.
Shameful shit.
Y'all allow it. I wish I would. I'm 46 years old. I wish I would pop off to my mama. I wish I would disrespect her. There's no honor. What's wrong? Put your time where it needs to be, especially when it comes to those children, especially when you have children. And it doesn't stop, you guys. It should be a mark of you have to mature now. You have to grow up. You have to grow up. There's nothing wrong with picking up a dictionary and expanding your vocabulary. But there has been an increase, and I got a lot of resources. So if anybody who needs some assistance on finding the resources in their state, because state to state, it is different. We have an email, promoteconsciousparenting@gmail.com. Feel free to reach out. I will do my best to find some resources for you and assist you in the process, especially in mentoring and motivating you as an individual, as the parent. Because there's going to be times in this educating them, especially if you're starting from early curriculum and it starts to go up 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th grade. We start to forget that stuff. Might need a brush up. It's okay. Get a brush up. YouTube provides everything. Do you hear me? It is so many resources out here to brush you up the night before for the lesson tomorrow. We have to be more prepared for our children. Become very selfish. So I got a video for y'all. I want y'all to check it out. Let me know what you think.
Homeschooling has just gone crazy. A huge resurgence. Homeschooling has just gone crazy. Millions and millions of folks were able to see what was happening in the government schools through the corona scare. And in that, they checked out and they're like, this is terrible. And they had to homeschool during the pandemic. And what they found is homeschool actually can be really enjoyable if you do it well and you're smart and you do some homework and you figure out like, oh, this is how you do homeschool. I'm like, that's actually easier than I thought. And it was really enjoyable. It turns out that people love their kids. It's kind of like, oh, this is great. And now I'm not spending massive amounts of money on childcare, and you get to actually raise your kids and you know what's going in their brains. And people found out that it was better. And now there's all these resources of like homeschool co-ops. Homeschool movement has exploded. If you want to rescue.
Yes, homeschool co-ops. It as shout out to the ladies I've just encountered. That, you know, going out and being social with your kids is very important. They need to see that you can meet someone, court them, and become friends. Excuse me. Hair everywhere in this house, child, let me tell you. Shout out to Mr. SheSaid putting up with all real hair. Real hair.
That fake shit be all
Just
around
all
the
around,
house
yeah,
somewhere.
yeah, you know. Yeah. And this woman I met, she has only one child, so we've gotten together, and she's a part of a co-op. You know, a portfolio is a little different than joining a co-op. So finding out what that is, these people come together, you know, at least twice a month, to get the kids to have social things, social experiments, whatever, just to have fun, whatever. It's always something planned out. So it gets them together. But outside of that, these groups of women and families, you know, build a bond. So outside of that co-op, they spend time together. You know, we make plans and put things on the calendar to where we can get the kids together and hang out and, you know, socialize and, you know, things like that. So that's something else to look into. And each state is different. And it's just something to have the state know that the children are getting some type of social awareness, right? Because people have this idea that if your child is homeschooled, you know, they're going to miss out on, you know, they're not going to know how to, right? But the way society is going now and how technology has advanced, they don't have it. So the last 15, 20 years, these kids do not know how to interact with each other, just like you adults don't know how to interact with each other and cooperate and, you know, speak kindly and express yourself without having to be vulgar and belligerent, and, you know, throwing all types of shade and insults and stuff. So it seems like adults are behaving like they're in fucking elementary school in 3rd grade. So, you know, I see where they're getting it from. And we all are government raised, fucking educated people. Okay. You know, some wanted to advance their knowledge and education. So they read more and they do more to build and grow and develop themselves. But a lot others do not. Many do not, and they don't care. And a lot of children are growing up in those types of homes where education is not important. They don't care about value. It's okay for the kids to be belligerent, disrespectful, have no duty, no responsibility.
Shameful shit.
It's a shameless fucking society. And we all admit that. But nobody wants to point out, nobody wants to take the critique or accept the accountability of their shit. You're a part of the shit. And your children are growing up in it, and they seeing it, and they mimicking it. When I look at them, I see y'all. So we need to do a better job. And homeschool may be the way. Just like arranged fucking marriages. I need to know your fucking family. Shit, our kids need to grow up together. I need to see how they was raised. It's crazy out here. And people used to think I was crazy talking like that 25 years ago. You kidding me? We got quality breed children over here. We don't need them stacking up with some bullshit ass breeded DNA.
Shameful shit.
Standards. Value. Society ain't got none. God damn it. Save the children.
The next generation, we've got to take them out of government schools. Whatever it costs, go into debt if you have to. And I do not like that. So I when I say that, that actually is a big sticky point for of like, bro, this is how important it is. Take your kids back from the government.
They're going to debt. They're going to debt for anything else, for them fly-ass cars, a house you can't fucking pay for, in foreclosure for 3 years. What about the kids? What about the kids? With your name brand clothes and your glasses and shit. What about the kids? You care that much for the kids? Go into debt for them. Huh? You so fucking smart. Everybody got these degrees. Especially the ladies, like the last fucking 15, 20 years of the women with this parade of I'm just this smart. What's up with the kids? What about them kids? Are they smart too? Because they probably would have got more for being home with you. That's another reflection. Mom Duke, single parent, she had to work a lot. So if she was missing in action, it's because she was at work, doubles, working night shift, day shift, not running behind some acting fool. You know, and hubby and I knew we both have to work to survive, to take care of this family, these kids. But when her reflecting on how good of a mother she thought I was and like to want to push forward with homeschool and be more present for my kids, she's like, absolutely. That's what you should do. That's what you guys need to do. That's something she never think, oh, I wish I'd have partied more. I wish I'd have had this childhood. No, she wish she would have been able to spend more time with her children. You can't get it back. You can't get it back. So being present was very important. Whatever it takes to have the best for your child. And they say that, but I see it with clothes. I see it with, buying these 4-bedroom homes and they get to have this and they get to have that. When you is what they need. When you, building with you is what they need. Learning the world around them through you is what they need. Learning value of life through you is what they need. Because you think that they're just going to learn it on the fly. But when we behave like fucking fools and act selfish, they learn all of that. They learn all of it. This is such a new generation of disrespectful to the elders. The adults is amazing. Deleting them. It's sad. And this is our future. This is our future. We need to take it a little bit more seriously.
When I say that, that actually is a big sticky point for of like, bro, this is how important it is. Take your kids back from the government now, whatever the cost. I know it's hard. Figure it out. Maybe you can't turn that key today. Make a plan over the next year to get them out of the government schools. Yeah.
How many people trust the government that you know?
No one.
How many of y'all trust the government? Really? How many of y'all trust the government? Trust them with them kids, though. We trust them with them kids, though, and we're a product of it. Continue.
So,
no one trusts the government.
Point being, why would you trust your kids to be educated by the government?
Right. Vodi Bachman said, don't be surprised when you send your kids off to Caesar and they come back as Romans.
Damn. Don't be surprised. You send your kids to Caesar, they come back Romans.
Said, don't be surprised when you send your kids off to Caesar and they come back as Romans. Like, that's it. That's it, man. You're wondering why everyone's gone woke and has no idea what bathroom to use anymore. Just if like, what happened to our kids? I'm like, well, you gave them to the government for their entire childhood. You saw them at dinner and you attended their sporting events, but the government raised your kids.
What do y'all think about that? What do y'all think about that? We have society of 20-year-olds, 25-year-olds who've been through this indoctrination. Like they literally were in school around educators more than being home with us. And then when they got home, I grew up to a generation of women who parented from the couch. Now we parent from the phone. Or not at all. So yeah, government raised children. Hey, world class is in the building. Bestest friend. Hey, bestest friend. I wouldn't trust the government to do anything but give me lots and lots of abundance of money. They don't. Nope. They divvy it out to you so you'll always need them. It's never enough. It's never enough. The dependency on the government, yeah, never enough to give you. Just enough to not starve. Crazy.
And social media helped. And video games or whatever, but you saw them every day, but you didn't raise them. You didn't log enough hours each day to counteract all the poison and time wasting and ideological propagandistic crap that they were getting fed year after year after year.
Log off. Log into your damn children. So y'all need to log off and log in to your children.
This is a work of art.
I don't understand it. Go to the dollar store, get some coloring books, some crayons, get some glue, construction paper, do crafts, sit down, laugh. If you ain't funny, get a joke book. Pull it up on your phone. Teach them to learn to relax to some jazz music, some instrumentals. You're not spending time with them. We're not logging into the children. You rush them off to school. We've done it. Rush them off to school. Rush them back home. Got other duties and responsibilities to handle, but we're not incorporating the children when they could be in the kitchen helping cook and talk about things. They're in the way. They're in the way. So about time our young 13, 14-year-olds get to an age where we want fucking help, they don't know how to do shit. They don't know how to do shit. They don't know how to cook. They don't know how to deal with the stove. They still asking questions like they fucking 6. It's our fault. Some of you have to look in the mirror and say, it's my fault. I didn't teach them shit. You cannot expect them to just know. They don't know to saute this before you add that. They don't know to clean the chicken this way before you start frying it, what to fry it in. All of that is lessons. And then they get shamed because they don't know. You ain't teach them shit. That's not cool. You have to teach them. You have to educate them. You have to model it. They need to see it. Recipes. They need to know what to not add bleach to, what products to clean with, how to take care of their body, how to self-advocate and regulate their temper. Okay? What type of pads to use, not to use tampons. That should be promoted. Not to use tampons.
This is a work of art.
Okay? It's bad enough we smother it with pads. Like, for real, this is some shit that really needs to be discussed. So when I meet grown women who have children the same age as mine and they still kind of giggle like they don't know how to have the conversations, it's our responsibility, especially when it comes to homeschooling. They're not learning about the kids out there if you're not teaching them. They're not learning about their body if you're not teaching them. You can't wait until they get their period and then it's all, oh, let's have a celebration. We have a period. No, they need to know about menstruation. They need to know about hormone fluctuation. They need to know about all of these things. And they don't get none of that shit in school. If we all went to school, if you are 50 years old or less, did you get any of that in school? Raise your hand. Put a hand in the chat. Put a hand in the chat. Did you get any of that? If you did, it probably took till 7th grade to get any type of information like that. Yeah. And if you're not getting it at home, you're learning it from your dumbass friends. Little girls walking around thinking they got 2 buttholes, okay? And then the baby comes through your butthole.
Shameful shit.
Yeah. It's foolish. Especially for us to be the mothers of them. Like, it's our job to teach them, and they need to know. So I do blame you. Yes, your fault. Your fault. Hold your fucking self accountable. Look in the mirror and say, teach my child shit. But I'm going to start now. I'm going to try now. Mm-hmm.
And so millennial generation and now Gen Z has gone woke. And we feel like, oh, what happened to my daughter? We raised him better than that. No. I mean this in love, but you didn't raise him at all.
You don't hear that part. You mean this in love. You mean it in love. Accountability feels like an attack when one is not ready to acknowledge their fucking behavior or the lack thereof. You're not ready. But some of you need to be held accountable. My mother will honestly say, and I think that's it, you know, for me to always be able to accept that, like, I got to take the critique because I watched the woman say, like, I was not capable of teaching y'all. I had to educate myself first. And along the way, I continued to try, to attempt, continue to try, continue. Even at this stage, always willing to learn, always willing to come and teach us something, show us something. And we can lose patience. We can lose patience with our elders. We don't want to hear it, all of that. But you'll miss it when they're gone. When they're gone, you reflect back on how many times you pushed them off or pushed them away or ignored them, disrespected them. Now they're the best person in the world. The wife school chimed in. I had a good sex ed teacher. She was a Black African woman. Shout out to her. Shout out to her. You know, and right there, it should have been your mama. Should have been your mama, your grandma, your auntie, your godmama, your sisters, if you have any. A lot of us depend on the government to teach everything. World class. Children are just sub roommates now. Yeah, and especially you can get a check. They come with a check too. They come with a child support check or a social security check or a social disability check. Welfare check, whatever. Because we don't get checks for homeschooling. You don't get checks for a man providing for one being the only person providing. You know, ain't no bonuses for that. So, you know, depending on the government doesn't always work out in one's favor, especially the children.
No. Scare. And in that, they checked out and they're like,
yeah. So it just gives you a little reflection, you know. Again, this is not a judgment. Most people do have to work. Both families, both parties in the family have to work. But there is a way to sacrifice without feeling like you settled for a lesser than life. To be more present for your children, like that shouldn't be a wavering effect. Knowing that your presence to them, your guiding them is more important than punching a clock. It's hard to consider, right? Because once they grow up, if they haven't gotten the tools that they need, the only person to blame are you, me. So it's a whole level of accountability that one has to have for self in order to keep pushing. Because again, 4th grade is hard. You wonder why they made a show in America called Are You Smarter Than a 5th Grader? Because the majority is not. Majority of this nation is not smarter than a fucking fresh 5th grader. Fresh 5th grader? Yeah. So does it mean all of the government indoctrination information that they've been passing along to us the last 40, 50 years, is it really relevant? Huh? Or was it a programming? We talk so much about all of this and then ignore it when it comes to the children. Children are being programmed. We have been programmed. When I see grown people act like children with the colorism and the rating scales and the hate towards one another, yeah, it's been programmed, you guys. It's absolutely been programmed. You're following along with the agenda. Kudos to you.
America have a very serious problem, but our people have a very serious problem. America's problem is self-destruction. Yeah, it's my self-destruction.
There's some people who don't just go along to get along. You know, if you learned that as a child, you grow up to an adult and you have that same fucking standard ability. Still want to be aware of the bullshit. It still exists, just like the street hood shit. Yeah, it still exists. Need to know. Just like the pedophilia. Yeah. Need to be very aware of what the fuck is happening. Don't mean I agree. I want to be a part of that shit. I really just wanted to come here today and give y'all a little bit more information about homeschool. Like, don't be afraid to take over your children's education. Because if you see what's happening now in society, it's pretty fucking shameful. They do it every day.
Why would you put a kid in a room behind a desk when the sun is out for their whole entire childhood? Not put them in front of water or ocean or anything that inspires them. Dim lights. If you notice, schools, jails, and hospitals all look exactly the same. Why wouldn't it be in something inspiring? Because it's a program to keep us controlled. When you have to have order of masses, you have to have them all doing the same thing so you can know what they're doing, you can monetize what they're doing, you know how they're doing it. At a very early age, I was like, yo, all this shit y'all teaching me, none of it makes me think I'm number one. It would make me, if I believe that y'all are teaching me, that I'm number two, that I could never be a boss. They never teach us how to pass laws and lobby or be politicians, and that's the only way to make change. It has to be strategic. When a cycle continues over and over again without change, it's either insanity or it's intentional. Somebody's losing, which is us, but somebody's winning, which is them. And they're
it's either insanity or intentional. I might be wavering towards insanity. Both. The wife's school chimed in. It's hard, but I try every day to manage 3 young people. It's hard, but you have to instill so much because it's an investment. We don't view it as an investment, but a burden. That's horrible. It's true, and it's horrible. Children shouldn't be a burden. A lot of children grow up that way. You wouldn't believe. You should, though, because they come out into the world. Oh, my goodness. Dr. Nkumbe chimed in. Thank you for taking the time to share, educate, remind, inform us. Much Munich. Much appreciated, sister. Thank you. It's a lot of information out there, let me tell you. So y'all check them links out. Look, I got something I want to read to y'all. You know, I went to school. I went to college. I got a degree. It's early childhood instruction. So a lot of information. So this is one great book, Health, Safety, and Nutrition for the young child. It's the 7th edition. There's this one little part I wanna give to y'all real quick. It's a lot of strategies for helping children. This is labeled for the ADHD child, but it's for all children, and it can help you as well. Adult. 7 basic principles can be implemented to improve children's success, as well as adults. You guys take notes. Create a structured environment. The degree of structure depends on the type and the severity of the child's problems or issues. I don't like to call them problems because we're all human and we all have different types of behaviors. When you look at it as a problem, it's something you need to fix. Okay? For example, structure for one child may involve restricting the number of furnishings in the classroom to a single table and a chair. For another child, structure may be achieved by limiting the number of choices. So choosing between 2 toys or activities instead of, a whole list of things. That is the best for children. You know, give them 2 options. When you give them too many options, it becomes very confusing. It's very confusing. So try to do that. 2 options. Or if you just have one, you that stern and structured. This is what you're getting, and that's it. Establish a daily routine that is consistent and predictable. And that is not just sitting all day with a phone or a tablet or some type of electronic. Really needs some structure. There's so many calendars and lesson plan books that you can get from Michael's or Walmart's or any of your local stores. Children who have ADHD, ADDH function, they work best. Establish a routine and predictable. Children who have ADHD function best when things are familiar. Include a routine that is the same from day to day. So familiar routines is very important for them. Give directions that are clear and easy for the child to follow. Have the child look at you while you explain what is expected. Andy, I want you to put the toys in this basket, the yellow basket. The use of repetition is also important. Modeling the desired behavior is also helpful. Offer praise and positive reinforcement. Praise and positive reinforcement. You cannot point out every bad thing a child does and not notice when they do good things, when they do things that have been expected of them. Point it out. Notice. They will continue to show good behavior. If you always acknowledge or pay attention to the negative behavior, it's getting their attention. They're getting your attention. Give direction clearly. Give directions that are clear and easy for a child to follow. Have the child look at you. Model the desired behavior is also helpful. That's a big one. Modeling the desired behavior is helpful. Children watch you, they mimic you, they follow every little thing you do. It's like follow the leader. Be that. Again, offer praise and positive reinforcement. This is an effective means for gaining children's cooperation. It also encourages them to attempt, complete, and feel good about even simple tasks like good work, babe. Good work. Putting those clothes away, folding up and matching up your socks. That stuff is very rewarding. You know, even getting it from my husband, like, you know, those types of things, if you practice those things, it becomes habit. Provide challenging experiences that are within the child's skills and tolerance level. This gives children an opportunity to be successful and avoid repeated frustration and failure. Provide children with opportunities for developing new interests, especially physical activities where they can channel excess energy and learn to relax. If your child is hyper, they need to run around. If they're hyper, they need to run around. They need to be active. It's very important. If you are raising little boys, their testosterone levels are higher than little girls. They need to exert that energy. Get them a damn trampoline. They have the little balanced ones now, like a little one in the house. If you can't get outside. But our children need to get back outside. They need to play in the grass. They need to run around. They need to laugh, climb trees and fences and shit and hurt their leg. They need to be outside. It's starting to become an epidemic with the phones and electronics with these children. It's not doing them any justice positively. They're not growing up to be science decoders and shit. You know, the majority. They're vegetables, like Mike said. Shout out to Michael Jackson. You're a vegetable. It's real. Mona D. We should give positive praise just as much, if not more, than pointing out mistakes and issues. Yes, take the kids outside. Have them engage in some activity. Get outside. And adults, you need to be active. You know, as you get older, your body gonna shut down. Our children are kind of our fountain of youth. They are a fountain of youth. They inspire me to want to run around and play and be more active. But my body will be like, ugh. You understand? And we have to be conscious of that. Because we model the behavior. And if you sit around and you're a goddamn vegetable and your face is in a screen all day. Like this is what they're seeing. This is what they're seeing. And I don't think they're proud of you for not doing nothing. Okay? Once in a while, every other time, and go on a vacation. Like that shit is bullshit. Every day, interact, engage with your babies. Reading. The library is still one of the best places to be with your kids. They learn. It's a way you got to act in the library, right? Ain't nothing changed. And they're going to learn that by going there repeatedly, right? Patience, quiet, being still, not being able to run around and act like a damn fool. Yeah, y'all need to get back to the library, get off them phones. Them apps ain't healthy for them. If you feel shamed, you should. There's some guilt there. Ain't got nothing to do with me. I just have to point out the obvious of what's happening. I've been around your children 30 damn years. Been slacking, and we got to be held accountable for the results because we're seeing it now. Mona D chimed in, addicted to phones and the childhood obesity rates are sky high. Yeah, but if you point it out and say it's something wrong with you. No, it's true. It's absolutely true. And it's because of what we give them, what you buy and put in the house. Hey, and you're welcome, love. So y'all check them links out that I left up there. Do we got another video down here? What you want to say, babe? You got some insight. You want to love.
When you have a disturbed son, a very badass child who don't listen and don't think that you can send them to jail, you bring the jail to your house. Inmate Johnson, what is your number?
08042007.
As you see, he has his socks and drawers, he has his towel and hygiene. He will be only coming out for what?
To use the restroom, wash my body, and brush my teeth, eat.
Okay. Basically, you're on restriction. Jail, y'all don't get to have fun. You get to come out to eat. Wash.
Wow. So we bring the jail modeled life to home, but not this education. This is the dumb shit that we see. This is the dumb shit. So much you can give that boy, but you want to show him the life of prison? Scared straight. You can pull that up on your phone. You can try educating them at home, modeling a particular type of behavior. I think people don't like to, we want to just point the finger at our children and say they're bad when you don't realize they're modeling you. A lot of their behaviors have come from you. It's hard to hear. It's hard to acknowledge that. It's hard to accept the accountability of your children not being able to self-regulate or be out of control or be disrespectful or lash out when they don't get their way or just cussing all the time. Like, where'd they learn it from? Where'd they see it? You got to look yourself in the mirror. You created a monster. Some of them are monsters. The fuck?
Look in the mirror.
Goddamn terrorist kids. You created them. Whether it was your DNA or your lack of fucking educating or teaching or modeling the appropriate behavior to go out into the world and be successful and positive and not get yourself caught up in some shit or go to jail or be killed or knock the fuck out because you just want to be disrespectful to anybody. That's the real world. I love the libraries. Mm-hmm. Me too. Me too. And it is a place of refuge for our homeless people. It is a place of refuge for our homeless people. So when you see them there, be kind. Because some people are really disrespectful. Bestest friend chimed in. He said, it's like getting paid for what you're not supposed to be doing. Not getting paid when you're doing what you're supposed to do. Shaking my head.
Shameful shit.
My kids are blessed because Nigerians, we don't play with education. Don't play. Don't play. Amen. That's right. You can't be stupid. Dotish. Damn, shame, abuse emotionally. Absolutely. He's a whole prisoner in his house by his mama. We should learn to think that that's okay to do that. She could have been more equipped by just learning something about early childhood development. Early childhood development. You can find a lot of courses right online. Like, this is where parents, we need to get more inspired. We need to be more inspirational to the younger generation, to be inspired, to be a parent. Like, if you choose to take that path, that walk of giving birth and creating life, it is your duty and responsibility, full on, to educate them, to show them that even if you came from a family or an environment that was traumatic, dysfunctional, cantankerous, bitter, unhealthy, you don't have to choose to walk that type of life. You don't. Change behavior. We see a lot of cycles repeating, a lot of, they call it generational curses. You got to be aware of the curse to break it. You got to break it. Our kids need us to be extremely aware of what came before us. This is what it looks like. Yeah. This is the product right now.
You didn't say I'm only 9.
They're laughing. He obviously has taken a piece of paper. He attempts to read it and says, "What the F does this say? I'm only 9," which is to suggest, obviously, that he can't read. So he needs somebody to come read that. People are giggling and laughing. It's not funny. If you are, in fact, 9 years old, not only should you be able to read, you should be able to read chapter books, okay? You should be in the 4th grade. And the 4th grade is when I began reading Harry Potter. If you can't read a piece of paper when you are 9 years old, then your mother has failed you, the school system has failed you, this country has failed you, and you have no chance. And it's not because of you. It's honestly not this kid's fault, which is why I'm not going to sit here and make fun of him. It has everything to do with his surroundings and the crisis that I am talking about in this country.
I stand with her. It's absolutely a crisis. Absolutely a crisis. Within the year, man, it's a lot of plausible deniability when it comes to you parents, mainly you mothers. The school's fault. It's the school's fault. It's the school's fault. It's the government. It's the red tape. It's this and that. No. You just don't want to be accountable for our lack thereof. It's hard to say you're not smart enough to educate your children. It's hard. It's hard to acknowledge that. And it's true. But steering them in a path of knowing that they have to educate themselves, I mean, they're kind of self-learners. Once you get them up to 6th, 7th grade, I mean, it's kind of, you can comprehend this lesson and you can kind of learn this. Let's get it done, But if we don't give them the tools early, it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. It's going to be very hard. So, just for the ones considering it, it might come a time and within the next 5 years, it might not even be an option. So you're going to have to take your children back. I think it's best for us. It's best for the children. Okay? Keeps you on your 1s and 2s. What else Candace got?
I covered for you a rapper, a 9-year-old rapper, an illiterate rapper, literally cannot read, named Lil RT. And so we recently covered his music video, which is up on YouTube. He's got an Instagram page. It's called 60 Miles. And in the lyrics, he's talking about women who he doesn't want to hang out with unless they're willing to suck his D. Yeah, he's 9 years old again, so he hasn't even gone through puberty. These are the kinds of lyrics that were coming out. And we covered this piece because it's not funny. It speaks to the corrosion of our culture. It speaks to the corrosion of Black culture, obviously a part of the bigger American picture. And people shouldn't find this sort of content to be funny. Well, it turns out that Lil RT, the 9-year-old rapper who cannot read but raps about sex, responded to me. I want to show you what Lil RT had to say. Take a look.
Oh. Uh-oh. He responded to her. Wow. Okay.
Listen.
What do you want to say to her? Why? What happened?
Because I'm by myself. They always need to stop coming like this.
Bring her to her restaurant, right?
Mm-hmm.
What?
You were telling me about her food trash.
So you hear him say that I need to be quiet because I'm all up in his silk. He's obviously being egged on by the adults. And that's really who I want to respond to, because little RT is a child and my heart breaks for him. Genuinely, I see a child that could have so much potential, and yet he is surrounded by monsters, people that know that they are not furthering his rap career. In fact, they are probably leading him down a path of harm. Obviously, if he cannot even read at the age of 9 years old, the future is not looking bright for him unless there is some sort of extreme intervention, in which there should be. You have people over at Child Protective Services that will show up at your house if you refuse the vitamin K shot for your infant at the hospital. And yet you have little RT that's creating content on the internet talking about women performing sex acts on him, talking about running from the police, and there's no problem here. That's just what they expect for Black Americans. They expect their prospects to be, well, let's return to the streets. You should always be on the streets. You should want to be a ball player, which is probably not going to happen statistically. You have a virtually 0% chance of being the next LeBron James. But if you pursue this path of music, or you pursue this path of sports, maybe you end up like little RT and hope that you're not dead by the time you're 20. And so they're egging him on there, and he's saying she's off of my silk. I can't answer that because I don't know what it means. I don't care to know what it means. I'm not for the streets. I'm not all up in your silk. I'm paying attention to how your parents are harming you, which your underdeveloped brain obviously can't comprehend. But they comprehend what they're doing. They know what they're doing. Whatever, they wrote some disclaimer there. He thinks I own a restaurant. I don't. They think it's funny to show that people are just jealous of him. We aren't. We are concerned for him because we should be concerned. Every person should be concerned when there is a young child who should have their entire world before them, who instead is sitting on a couch responding like as if he's in a rap battle with someone who is.
Shout out to Candace. I agree with everything she said. Shame on them doing that.
Shameful shit.
This child's brain is nowhere near fully developed, even halfway there. And especially if he can't read. How do you let somebody go into a studio booth and spit anything? Where he writing it at? Who's writing them for him? Where's his father? Probably right next to him, writing the rhymes. Some people are for the fuckery when it comes to our children. You know, for the almighty dollar, we can get famous. He's 9 and a rapper. Lil Wayne was what, 11? He got raped the same time. This is crazy. The boys get groomed too. And they grow up to be men. That little boy is going to be a man. He doesn't want a girl in his presence unless she fucking. His little 9-year-old self. And how many women would want him to come and perform in their school or in their community for a fucking girls' party or some shit? Like, the shit is crazy. It's a lot of foolery that we accept as adults for our children. People think it's funny and cute, supporting it. He can't even read. The fuck make you think he writing rhymes? Shit is amazing. Anything for some money, the destruction of our children and our society. Shout out to y'all. Y'all the best humans they are. Fucking shameless ass.
Shameful shit.
Can't when it comes to these kids. We do not play. Beans is in the building. How you doing, brother? Pulling up, popping in. We breed these environments. We grew up in it. That's why I know it all too well. So I try to call it out. Some shit is just unacceptable. And we need to be concerned for that little boy. For real. For real. Mandated reporter. Mandated reporters. It's unhealthy what's happening. pussy and money. He's 9. He can't even spell because. It's not okay. Again, there's some links at the top for some resources for homeschool because saving the children begins at home. And if we have young adults who actually don't understand that when that child is born, the educating begins. So before you thrust them off to pre-K 3 or pre-K 4 or kindergarten, they're with you. And you have to instill some shit. 1, 2, 3 years old, them children can get so much. But you have to be there, be present. You have to do the reading. You have to do the phonics. You have to do the counting forward and backwards. You have to do it. You have to make it fun. When our children feel like a burden, we lose them. It's over. Some parents tell them they're a fucking burden. They have to grow up with that and still love and praise the mama or the pappy. Some of y'all ain't shit. And I don't have a problem calling you out on it. I hope you feel what I say. You should. Your grandmother should have been telling you. Do right by your babies. Do right by your kids. Promote conscious parenting at gmail.com. If anybody needs any information about homeschooling in their state, we are in Maryland, so from state to state, the regulations and the rules are a little different. But it's a lot of resources out there. We do so much. It's pretty simple to just put anything in the Google and something's going to come up. Something's going to come up. And I'm all for promoting conscious parenting. I'm all for promoting media consumption of our children should be little to nothing. If you cannot monitor it, if you cannot provide them with age-appropriate substance, a 9-year-old should not be inviting people to his penis. He probably doesn't even know the word testicles. He has no idea how his body works. Or girl. But we have adults promoting this shit. I absolutely got some tips. Definitely got some tips. Yeah. So for homeschooling, there's a lot of options. So to legally homeschool in Maryland, these steps must be followed regardless of the options you choose. So when you have to choose an option to homeschool under a portfolio, so there's a portfolio, that's what we do. We pick the curriculum, we decide what our child learns, and we just have to report to the state of what the child is learning. And if they give her kudos and it's satisfactory, then it's all good. The site that we use, it provides a whole transcript from month to month, week to week, however you decide. You can print up report cards, you can print up certificates. So it's a great access to the curriculum. It's called Time for Learning. The link is in the chat if you want to check it out. So you have to choose whether you want to do a portfolio, you can do a church umbrella or a state approved umbrella, which someone provides the curriculum. You might have to pay for it. It's some places where you can take the child to go and do the homeschooling. A lot of it can just be virtual. And then second, file a notice of consent. You have to file a notice of consent to the superintendent of the Board of Education. Let them know what you're doing. So it has to be written. They have to literally take your children out of the system. Because in, urban areas, these schools keep your children on their roster so they can get the money for your child. It's like 2-3 times I had to go to Madison's prior school before we started homeschooling to tell them to take her off. The school had the nerve to tell me I might change my fucking mind. I might change my mind. Damn near the only parent in the PTA that doesn't work at the school. I'm going to change my mind. You want to keep getting this money because it's all hood money, all federal money they get. So yeah, I had to go down there and force them to take it off. I might change my mind. When I change my mind, that means I'm going to go to the Board of Ed and re-enlist her. So sometimes these people do what the hell they want to do to get money. Everything is about money, and people's integrity and principles and values and shit go right out the fucking window. Shout out to y'all. Goddamn whores. Fucking attention whores, pussy whores, all of it. Men, dick whores. It's crazy out here.
Bing bang.
Some of you people are shameless. So shout out to y'all. Y'all exist. So, Yeah. Here they go. Shameless.
Shame on you.
Man, we grew up watching some real visionary shit. I can't believe sometimes when I be watching, like, this is real life. These are real people acting this way. Grown-ups. I see children, yeah. Children, absolutely, they should. They learn in the world around them. But you adults, god damn it. Don't make no fucking sense. Wow, child. Woo-hoo. Yeah, we're back to them points for the homeschooling, because it's a lot of regulations and ways you got to do things. So you definitely have to give that consent, your intent to homeschool the child. 3, teach the required subjects. You become the educator now. You got to reteach the required subjects. You got math, English, social studies, science, art, music, health, and physical education. So they will be asking, did your children go outside and run around? And, so when I have the aide call me, one of the head ladies who, have to call over 2,000 people in this, county to get information about their child and what they're getting, she gets a lot of resistance. She said people have attitudes, they yell at her, and this is an old lady. She's calling to just make sure that your child is getting the sufficient education that the state requires, So it's amazing to hear some of her stories. And of course, she's going to tell me, because, when she's called the Harris tribe, I'm very open and ready to have all my papers out. And, I got the email set up to send all the transcripts of what the child did, so she starts to tell me everything. I even offered to come work. I'll make the calls for you. You want me to call them? I'll be a parent liaison. You understand? So that place giving her a heart attack. You people giving these elders heart attacks because they care about your children. And it seems like they care more than you. Shout out to Mrs. Shirley. It's crazy. So now it's your responsibility, number 3, to start teaching those provided curriculum. All right. So 4, provide the required instruction. That must be of sufficient duration. So you can't just learn one thing for a certain amount of time. It needs to be a certain amount of minutes and hours that they would consider to be sufficient enough. Okay. So that's why it's kind of good to have one of those outside programs to where everything is logged in. So all the activities and the quizzes and stuff like that. So we do time for learning. There's Maya Academy, there's Khan Academy, there's, it's so many. So do your research and see which one will be best for you, because they all provide the same curriculum. Because when I see the public school kids have the same studies that Madison has, they're all doing the same shit. They're still indoctrinating the kids. So I can actually pull out the things that I don't think is sufficient for her. Like they said, they just try to throw curriculum in there that, insinuates slavery, and they're not giving any lessons. And it was just like that in school with the kids. So when I see it now, I'm like, yeah, you just pull that out. If you want to just not have the child do that lesson, you can pull that out and you educate that child about slavery and colonization and all of that. Because the way they teach it, you're definitely going to come out of it with colorism and, a racist mindset and just an ignorant mentality, because this is America.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying? Oh my God. Stop fucking lying.
I'm raising robots. What were we on, 4 or 5? How to begin? Yep. So you got to provide a sufficient amount of time. 5, choose your homeschool curriculum. Curriculum choice is up to the parent. It's up to you. It's up to you. And I think it's regular life stuff, organizing, time management, learning temperance, changing their eating habits, making their own habits and looking at them as good habits, acknowledging the bad habits, things that you find that are not going to be, productive for them in the future as adults. Point that shit out. You tell them kids, your attitudes suck and you need to work on it by doing this, that, and the other. But you have to be able to articulate. Just yelling at your kids and telling them they bad and punishing them and making jail in the fucking closet is not going to work. It's not going to be a good outcome, in my opinion. So many other ways. Bring education home. Don't fucking bring prison home. So many movies or so many documentaries that you can sit down with that young boy and show him. Versus that. We go to the extremes, especially for our boys. This is his mama. Okay, we're daddy. I want to talk to daddy. Let me finish that how to begin homeschool. This last slide real quick. 7, maintain a portfolio. It's a structured portfolio. You have to put whatever lessons the child is learning. So to have a structured curriculum already provided for you, this makes it simpler. It does make it simpler because the state only requires a certain amount. So we add so much more on because there's no Black history. And they give little minute amounts of it. So you definitely got to add on to what the child is learning. 7, respond to your superintendent's requests to review your portfolio or hold periodical conferences with the umbrella school because this information needs to be needed. You can go all the way through thinking it's all being acknowledged through the state and then get to the end and it has not because you're not being dutiful. You have to respond to the requests for information. You have to email the transcripts. You have to be on it. You can't be neglectful and not call the people back when they need you to call them back. Call back. It's a quick phone call to find out if you are doing what you are supposed to be doing. Nobody wants the state involved and trying to hold them accountable. But, when it comes to these kids, you best answer that call because you'll get a insufficient score. So, 8, begin enjoying learning together. That's the biggest part. And it's hard because we want to rush. We have no patience, mama. Our attitudes change and flip from day to day, from minute to minute, maybe hour to hour. 1 week you got your period. The other week something else is going on. It's a lot. It's a lot. So we have to learn to temper ourselves in order to learn and have fun with these kids. You got to make it fun so they'll be more motivated. And it's hard because I'm a goddamn stern drill sergeant. And I have to, humble myself sometimes. Like, okay, we don't want to force, So it's a lot of self-reflecting. I have to do a lot, and be like, okay, I need to learn a little patience, and I don't mind pointing out, Mommy, it was a little bit much. I'm going to try to check myself. But in that moment, you got to also reflect on you and what you can be doing better. Because as you grow, you need to mature. They need to hear that. 9, because they're going to be adults. 10 years go quick. We watched it go so fast. So we're not going to ignore that this one is not going to go just as quick. So trying to get all that information in there is very important for me as a duty and a responsibility. It's our job. And I don't mind taking that on. It's not a burden. I appreciate it. And I'm blessed to be able to be here for them as much as I am. They'll never forget that. Mommy's been around. Daddy's been around. Day ones. Very proud of that. I'm not proud about the money making, even if I had millions of dollars in there. Yeah, nah. Them, their time, their energy, who they're growing up to be, what they value, and their principles, how structured they are. I mean, that shit, it makes me feel really good. So the work, it shows. Salute, Arshawn. Welcome. So for the gentlemen who are, will be future fathers, I tell you to seek a woman who will find honor, to be home and nurture and cultivate your home and your children. Okay? Who will be willing and won't look at your children as a burden, to educate and guide and model decent and good behavior that you approve. So, shout out to y'all, and I hope that you guys find that one, because sometimes, they pretenders, man. They come in like, yeah. And you go through these changes in life and you don't want to do it no more. And I see that a lot. I've watched that a lot. Women be so happy to have these babies and baby showers and all the praise. And then by 6 or 7, it's like, I'm tired. I'm done. I don't want to do this no more. Shame on y'all. We need to not allow that shit. We got to call them out when they start behaving like that. You got a whole nother 15 more years, chick. Get it together. It ain't done yet. Hey, Doc. Curriculum costs from $50 to $300, and a portfolio costs from $50 to $300. I don't see anyone giving these types of tips. It's not a lot. Time for L, I think it starts you with maybe less than $25 a month, and you can pay for the year, which will be cheaper. But if you have to go month for month, it's about $25 a month, and it's a full-on curriculum, and you can take out what you want. You can make the schedule as you see fit. Like I said, I put the link in there. You can watch the video tutorials. It's very easy to navigate. And you learn with your kids. Well, you know, a lot of that stuff we forget. You don't take that as an adult. You're doing fractions and you'll learn with them, you know, and it's rewarding for them to see that mommy or daddy needs to brush up a little bit. Like, oh, okay, yeah, I remember that. You know, it makes them feel a little more confident, you know, like because they all feel less than. You don't even realize it, but your children feel less than, and you have to motivate them and inspire them, you know, and let them know that they are great. Okay. It's not always about you. It's not always about you. It's about these kids, man. It's always about these kids, you know, hoping we can model better behaviors and attitudes and mindsets. Because they're watching. They're watching. What else you got?
Many of you are really only separated from the spirit realm by just about this much frequency. And in fact, it's actually closer than that. Let me inform you of something. Understand that in a sense, I'm just going to use these terms to make it an easy illustration. In a sense, spirit is your natural state. Physical reality is just a projection of consciousness. You never actually leave spirit to become physical. Your spirit doesn't leave the spirit realm and go into a physical body.
Right.
You are still in spirit right now with her. You've never left. Neither of you ever left spirit. You are just still dreaming that you've left. She's woken up from that dream.
Be conscious, y'all. Be conscious. Be conscious. Consciousness is very important in life, in human existence. It really is. Shout out to y'all. Y'all know, do a little research, man. Y'all ain't ready. I ain't ready to explain it to y'all. Some things are just too hard to explain. You know, when you know, you just know. I'm one of them. Just know. Word. Promote conscious parenting .com. Promote conscious parenting at gmail.com. Promote conscious parenting and monitor the media consumption of children. Please sign the petition. It's very important for us to be more conscious and aware of our children and to make them more conscious and aware of themselves and the world around them. Okay. And they cannot do that walking around in the grocery store, sitting in the shopping cart with the fucking phones in their face, full on. They know how to navigate and move without even looking. Our children are blind. Y'all better wake up. Because they're not going to wake up on their own. They not. Regulate them phones. Don't even give it to them. Christmas is coming. If you bought one, take the shit back. Take it back. Go buy some books. Go buy some fucking blocks. All the electronics is way too much. You don't know the damage that it is doing and causing. But I see the effects. I've been in school, been watching these kids for a very long fucking time. I could be a theorist. Theories of Harris Tribe shit. Journaling, lots of it. Wow. Shout out to all the lionesses out here trying to promote more consciousness of self, pointing out the foolery and the fuckery of the women in our society who are destroying it. We got to get a hold in the grasp, and we need to speak up and speak out. Not on our fucking rock. And if you don't like it, too motherfucking bad.
Not on my watch. Not on my watch. Will you disrespect?
It's like that. It's like that. None of it. Or this has been good. I hope y'all got some information. I hope you feel a little bit more confident about taking that journey, because it's not an easy one. But if you're already a conscious parent, you start at birth. So you already know the work that it entails. But for the younger ones, they really need to learn and understand how much work it is. It is a lot, but it can be fun. And it's very rewarding when you see the effects of what you have instilled in your children. It's you. It's what we instill. When we hand them over to the government or to daycares, you don't know what's going to happen. You have no clue what's happening to your children. You're not paying that much attention. So let's just get back there. 2024, save the children, man. And it starts at home. Protect the children, educate the children, guide the children, model good behavior to the children, be respectful. Allow them to speak. Let them go outside and run around. Too much electronics. But we would think that this is just common sense, right? I would always say it, but I'm learning it's not. It's not. You know? I may be the only person in the world who reflects on the foolery and the fuckery that I seen growing up, or what I saw that I got or didn't get, and said, no, we're going to change this cycle, you know, because I have the ability to do that by constantly being conscious of myself and how I move, because it's not easy. I have attitude. I have funkiness as well, just like everybody else. Don't sit up here like I'm perfect, but it's doable. But you have to have a positive mindset. And most of us walk around bitter, negative, and upset, chips on our shoulders, and our children see that. So let's move forward in a healthy mindset, a positive mindset, to get these children to where they need to be as adults. Because, you know, most of us didn't get it. So we kind of know, right? Word up. So shout out to anybody who is looking to get their children out of public school, or when they decide to have their own children, they're looking for homeschool. It's a lot of resources out there, and it's different from state to state. So feel free to email us for any information or resources at promoteconsciousparenting@gmail.com. And, you know, we be around. 2024, look for us. Harris Tribe Media Group. He said, she said, love and abundance. That pulls up and pops in on a Saturday. It's always a good one. I'm here on Sunday for Shame Sunday.
Shame on you.
Tuesday is He Said, She Said.
He said, she said. She filling your head with he said, she said.
New day Tuesday. So y'all pull up and pop in when you can. Shout out to y'all. I hope y'all have a great week. Be kind to somebody besides yourself. And be a part of that woke nation.
It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?
It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?
It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?
Hey, it's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?
It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?
But I'm talking to all black women. Stop making love to coons. Stop giving your womb to coons. I'm going to say it again. Stop giving your womb to the coons, because when you give your womb to the coons, you have a coon womb. And when you have a coon womb, black woman, you can only give birth to baby coons. So stop giving your womb to the coons. I mean it, sisters. If y'all stop making love to brothers who ain't building for the community, if y'all stop making love to brothers who ain't working for the community, if y'all stop giving out your French vanilla cookies and your banana cookies and your lemon cookies and your butter pecan cookies and your butter almond cookies and your caramel cookies and your sweet brown sugar cookies and your chocolate fudge cookies. If you stop giving out your cookies to the brothers before they do the work, sisters, we can get some work done.
You see, baby, I don't do this just for the recognition. I do it for the children.
You can take the children and bounce them on their knees. Bounce them on the knee and then sing a melody. The Varnell man, did you mean he's mine?
That was lovely. That was beautiful. Johnny Gill should sign you up. My.
BOS on the track.
You.